Meet Bob. How you doing there, Bob? Bob is a faculty member who is trying to improve the experience of his online course. Recently, Bob has been having a pretty tough time dealing with some of the grading and being consistent with his grading criteria. Sometimes Bob is happy and energetic when reviewing his students' work, while other times Bob can be lethargic, disengaged, and even a bit agitated after hours upon hours of reading and grading papers. This, of course, affects how Bob grades his students' work. Poor Jimmy. Say, Bob, have you ever thought about using rubrics in your online course? Rubrics are a great way to add ease and consistency to your course grading. Oh, you've never used a rubric before? Well, no worries there, Bob, because today we'll be discussing the CETIS Design's top 5 rules for using rubrics in your online course. Okay, let's get something straight. What is a rubric? A rubric is a set of well thought out and aligned criteria that is descriptive of the levels of performance and quality of a student's work. This means that you can always be consistent in your grading and never judging of a student's work by comparison bias. Make sense, Bob? Now that you have an understanding of what a rubric is, let's make one. Rule 1. Align with the assignment's objectives. When writing a rubric, clearly outline your expectations for the assignment and make sure that your expectations match the goal or objective of the assignment. Show your students from the get-go how they can approach, meet, and exceed your expectations for the assignment, discussion, or project. Remember, rubrics are traditionally composed of 4 basic parts: the description, the content, the skill level, and the evaluation. The description is the objective or outcome of the assignment. This puts the student's focus on the goal of the assignment itself. The content are typically rows that express the outcomes you anticipate from your students. The skill levels are typically columns, and they describe the levels of achievement you anticipate to see from your students. For example, novice, apprentice, proficient, and distinguished are all levels of skill. The evaluation are the individual cells that marry the rating of your student's work with the skill level. Rule 2. Use and adapt an existing rubric. Borrow an existing rubric from a colleague or trusted source and adapt it to meet your needs. Creating a rubric from scratch can be quite the task, especially if you've never used one before. By using an existing rubric, you're not only saving time, but you're learning by example. Rule 3. Evaluate the rubric. Ask yourself the following questions. Is the rubric useful, manageable, and practical for the assignment? Does the rubric relate to the outcomes I expect from the assignment? And does my rubric address anything extraneous? If yes, remove the extraneous criteria to align it with your course and assessment objectives. Rule 4. Test your rubric. Use samples of previous student works to evaluate the effectiveness of your rubric in grading and reaching goals of the assignments. Then, update and reevaluate the rubric to better anticipate the grading outcomes and the associated rating and skill levels that you expect to get from your students. Rule 5. Revise your rubric. Nothing is ever a home run the first time you do it, so anticipate the need to revise your rubric after its first and subsequent uses. Not only could you find that the rubric needs to be adjusted, but you may even find that your learning objectives or assignment goals need to be tweaked to get the outcomes that you're looking for. Nice work there, Bob. You just outlined your first rubric. Now you'll be well on your way to improving your online course grading experience. But if you ever need any assistance, you can always reach out to the friendly folks at the CETIS Design Office. They'll be happy to help. So long there, Bob, and happy teaching!